G'day all, GPT Craig Taylor here. Final words and final thoughts on the Boosted Mini X. Now I'm going to go in through some pros, just what I think. Small, easy to handle, all the usual stuff. Fast and fun, love this thing, really super quick, really enjoy it. Heaps of torque, climbs up hills, no problem. It just going up that bike ramp, if you haven't seen the other video, up here, have a look. It climbed up that the ramps and stuff near the overpass like it was nothing. I reckon in medium mode, my lovely Lycan TRX 2.0 would probably struggle with that. This didn't, it just went, let's go, let's get the job done. So pretty impressive on the torque. Realistically, every errand you want to do. Let's just take a quick look. It's really well built, really put together, really well. It's a really well made board, and I'm disappointed about the brand. That's my last thing I'm going to say with that. One of the things I say about boards this size, they're really easy to get around with. If you have to go and jump on and off public transport, you need to go to a bus stop, jump on a bus, go to school, go to work, whatever, and then get off and have a quick scoot down to your workplace or your university or your high school, whatever. Great board. You could basically zip from home down to the bus stop, jump on the bus, take it with you on your lap, get off the bus, zip onto where you've got to go. Really good for that. I mean, it's small enough. It is weighty. Now that takes me into the cons, it's really heavy for its size, and I'm gathering most of the small boards are pretty heavy for their size, but hey, do some homework, find out what you think. One of my problems with older technology, and this is old now, you don't really get an indication of what the board's doing for battery. Some of the modern boards now give you both board and remote battery capacity or usage on the actual remote. Really easy to have a quick look at it and go, that's where I'm at, that's what I've got left, let's go. Short range. Don't like the short range on these short boards. I like to do a few more kilometers. 13, 14 kilometers for me is really at the low end of the scale. I'll be looking at 20k just in case you need to do a 10k run and you can't get to a charge. If you ever forget your charger one day, you want to be able to get those few extra k's in. Range for me is important. So talking about range, with these short boards, you literally have to carry a charger everywhere. So if you scoot to school, scoot to work, you got to check your board on charge somewhere for an hour or so. So just be mindful of that if you're going to go with a short board. For me, the wheels on this little PUs, these 80 mil diameter wheels. Most of the short boards out there have got the PU wheels on them, and if you change over to bigger wheels, you're gonna get board bite. You're gonna get board bite when you turn in. So just be mindful of that if you change your wheels to 105. With the wheels being the way they are and being so small, and the deck being so hard, obviously it's really firm. You feel everything through this. So if you wanted to do 20 or 30 Ks and you're doing multiple charges just to keep going, or some of the other brands out there, you can do swappable batteries. Doing the long range with the swapped batteries, you're gonna struggle with vibration through your feet. You're gonna get sore feet over a period of time. It's gonna happen. Short boards compared to my long board. Short boards, lot less stable, a little bit more on the ragged edge if you're going quick, and some of these short boards can really kick along. For example, the Stoke board, I'm pretty sure, has got a much higher speed than this. Just be mindful, they're a bit squally, they're going to bounce around a little bit more than your long board, and obviously with your long board with bigger wheels, there's there's AT wheels and cloud wheels and so forth. Just be mindful, you're going to get a much more stable ride out of some of those larger wheels and the larger boards. These things, you're going to feel every cut in the concrete, every twig you drive over, right over, every stone that you potentially hopefully get over as well. So just remember that. I'm going to touch on something that's important to me, and other people maybe not so much. I'm going to quickly compare price tags on this, and I'm going to run down through these as well. At the price when I made this video, the prices set out as are as $9.99 USD from Boosted USA. That's $1,291 plus the import duties plus taxes if you got to pay them, and transport if they hit you for transport. Usually it's around about $100 US for transport and duties and so forth, and currency exchanges. So, this is a $1,500, maybe $1,600 board by the time it lands in Australia at your exemptions or codes or something to go with it. That's pretty expensive, right? Stoke Evolve, right now from, I think it's 12 Board Store or Ben Buckler, we're looking at about $11.99 plus shipping, so it's in Australia. You can get this straight from the guys at either 12 Board Store, which is an hour away from me or 40 minutes away from me, or up in Sydney at Ben Buckler, and basically $1,300 for a Stoke. $200 cheaper. The brand, look at this, Evolve is still there doing it, and they do the Stoke boards really well. Great little board from everything I'm told, so I really want to get hold of one of them when I can and have a crack on it. So compare the Stoke versus the Boosted. This is no longer made anymore. It sort of is, but who knows what the time frame on this little sucker is, so just be mindful of that. Stoke's cheaper. The Dot Compact, $1,800 US, AUD, and about $1,400 USD plus shipping and all the rest of it. So the Dot Compact's expensive. The Backfire Mini, really cheap compared to everything else, $550 US roughly, and which is about 720 AUD at the time I made this. So $700 for the Backfire Mini is pretty cheap. Not sure about quality and stuff, just giving you the numbers around what I've just looked up. X-Way Riot, $1,200 AUD, 977 USD. So, it's getting up there. It's a $1,300 board for an X-Way Riot. A Wave is a little cheaper, 1,100 AUD, 851 USD. So, but again, $1,100 for Australia, plus shipping, plus import duties, whatever, $1,400. So it's up there as well. Meepo Mini, 581 AUD at the moment, 449 USD. So $600, 750, $800 to get a Meepo Mini here. So it's getting up towards $1,000 for a mini board. Just be mindful, low Ks, low everything else. Great fun, fit for purpose. If you can't afford, a lot of long boards to get them into Australia. My Leica TRX 2.0 cost me just over 2K, but I got the 175 ATs with it as well. So still expensive, right? So just be mindful of that. One that I don't hear much about at all, and I'm pretty sure that you can buy it with a second battery as well and unscrew them, and to take a little screwdriver with you and you can do a double swap over. I think the X-Way Wave and Right you can do a battery swap as well. Anyway, the Real Mini, hub motors of course, $368 USD at the moment, 475 AUD. So $500, $600. So $650, $700 for a Real Mini. If you get a second-hand battery, I don't know what the second battery is worth, but hey, if you're looking for it, probably not bad. Real's got a really good brand, a really good name, and when you take it up and you compare it to the Stoke from Evolve, you're looking at a $1,200 board versus probably $700, $800 board from Real Mini. It's enough if you're a student or a young person who hasn't got a full-time gig at the moment to earn coin. It's worth considering, worth thinking about. For Real Mini, again, I don't know what some of these other boards are like. Other people have got many things out there. Scott Davies, have a look at some. I'm sure he's done some short boards. Jay Boston's probably done some as well, and I'm sure that Andrew Penman's done some as well. I always mention the Aussie YouTubers because support the local boys down here. Have a look at their YouTube channels, see what they say. They've probably done a lot. Well, of course they've done a lot more boards than me. They've been doing it forever. The guys know what they're talking about. Go to those boys, have a look at their videos, and see what they say, because they probably know a lot more about a lot of these boards than I do. But anyway, getting back to the Boosted Mini, would I buy this board? hey, if I could get a second-hand one, which was in good nick, pretty cheap, and the battery was still okay, I'm all over it, because it's a great little board. I've had a lot of fun with this. Thanks to my mate Tom for lending me this again. It's been an awesome board. Loved it every minute of it. Had a lot of fun. Really cool. If I had to pay full tilt for one of these, would I buy it if I had to pay full tilt for this board? I've got to honestly tell you, I wouldn't pay full tilt for a brand newie. It's a big bucket of cash for a small board where there's some real serious competition out there now, and some of those boards are as good, if not better. And when I try and compare what this board would cost me from overseas to land in Australia, straight up from Stoke Evolve in Australia, I'm looking at $1,199 plus some transport for the Stoke Evolve, and it's a belt drive, same as this is. So be mindful of that. And the mini boosted is going to cost me $1,300 plus shipping plus everything else, so it's literally $1,500. Is $1,500 worth it for a brand that's no longer really, I don't know, could you say viable? I'm not sure. The company Boosted is gone. Boosted USA are doing it under spare parts and whatever they've got left, and refurbishing and all the rest of it. So maybe a refurb board might be more up your alley. From what I've heard, the refurb ones are just as good, if not, well, they're just as good. They're nearly new anyway, so that might be an option for you if you want the brand. If you don't want the brand, there's some options out there. Have a look at all of them and see what you think. Love the shortboard, had a lot of fun. Would I give it another shortboard a crack? Absolutely. I'm a convert. I want to play more on the shortboards. I'm considering what I'm going to do next to see whether I get one, because I think it's not a bad thing to have one in your Skyrocket or in your arsenal of boards. Just my 2 cents. But I'm really interested in the Vareal. Really cheap. Good brand. Really cheap board. Screwdriver, swappable battery. I'm not sure how viable that is to actually physically unscrew a battery and screw another one in. Makes me curious. But I've got to say, I wonder what it's like. It's not too bad. And at the moment it's priced down a little bit, so hey, why not give it a go? Anyway, that's my wrap up from Mini Boosted. Great board, a lot of fun. Enjoyed my time with it. It'll be going back to my good mate in a couple of days, or maybe tomorrow or the next day. Stay tuned. More coming from the channel. Subscribe, like, and all the rest of it, so you can see those videos coming up. Anyway, GPT, Craig Teller, out.